Thank you so much for joining us on the debut show of the first-time home buyer, or FTHB as we will call it. I'm Manisha Natarajan. Well, this show is no rocket science. It's a simple you ask, we answer show aimed at helping you pick the right property at the right price. For the first-time home buyers, though, we will help you take the best bets with your property buys based on location and supply ratings for key markets across India. Joining me armed with data insights is Sameer Jasuja, founder and MD of PropEquity. Sameer, thank you very much for joining me. I believe you've established PropEquity as one of the premier research and data companies, and you track how many? 83,000 projects and 23,000 developers? There are so many developers?
Yes, there are, and it's been a 10-year journey for us. And it's taken us that much time to be able to build the database across 42 cities. And today, yes, we can safely say 90% of the market is covered by us and tracked by us, monitored by us on a month-on-month basis.
All right, so let's get cracking on this show. Here are the markets we will cover today. So keep your pen and paper ready to note down our calls on some of the key property markets of India. Let's start with the questions. Before that, let's tell you what are some of the key markets that we will be covering. Here we will be covering Noida. We will also cover Thane for you. We have lots of other markets right there on your screen. So take a look at the budgets and the markets. Pune, Bangalore also on the radar today. And of course, many more markets as we go along. But there you go. You've also got Mumbai and Andheri at 1.25 crore to 1.7 crore. But most of the markets in that range of 50 to 60 lakhs. Those are the questions we've got. Our first caller is online with us, Narendra Chaudhary. Narendra, what's your question?
Well, I'm looking for a ready-to-move-in flat in Noida. My budget is around 55 lakh rupees. Could we help me out, please?
All right, Noida is his market, 55 lakh rupees. I mean, before we delve into his answer, the big USP of the show is location rating and supply rating. Why supply rating?
Manisha, these are the most two critical factors that are driving real estate price appreciation or demand, as you may want to put it today. Supply rating, because today, for the first time over the last 3 years, demand supply is determining how the markets are going to move. Typically, we hear from everybody today that the markets are oversupplied, but that's not entirely the true picture. There are certain micro markets that are definitely oversupplied, but certain micro markets have a great opportunity to look at, because we've divided the markets into two segments: ready to move in and under construction. Especially in the ready-to-move-in category,
right,
the markets are not really oversupplied, and there is a well-supplied situation, which is adequate supply, because absorption in that area is moving pretty well as well.
All right, so these are the ratings we will bring you. Ladies and gentlemen, 0 to 4, don't even think about it. 4 to 6, average livability, that's the location rating we are talking about. 6 to 8 is adequate infrastructure, and 8 to 10 is superior living. Let me ask Sameer, so how do you really come upon the location rating?
Manisha, we are looking at a lot of criterias, but divided into these 4 big parameters. One is the current physical infrastructure, connectivity. Then we are looking at the future infrastructure, the metro connectivity that is going to be happening across various cities. The third and most important part is the employment generation potential and proximity to the zones of where maximum employment is happening. That's what is driving price appreciation and demand in a particular micro market. And finally, the social infrastructure, which is hospitals, schools, and retail. These are the 3 important pillars of the social infrastructure that we look at. So overall, over 10 parameters we looked at.
And then each of those locations will get the rating that we just flashed on your screen. So keep a close eye on that. Supply ratings as well, whether it's adequately supplied, oversupplied, or an undersupplied market. Those are extremely important parameters for you to take a decision on your first-time home buying. And of course, Narendra's question, let's go back to it. I'm sure he's waiting for his answer. Noida, and I can see, Sameer, we start with an oversupply market. Unfortunate, but he is our first caller.
That's true. Noida is one city which has seen the maximum oversupply in the market. Over 150,000 units have come into the market over the last 3.5–4 years, and most of them are now getting ready. But having
so
said that,
would you tell him don't buy?
No, I will definitely tell him to buy.
Okay,
because
why?
A, he's looking at ready to move in, which is perhaps at this point in time, Noida, the best market in NCR with the current infrastructure available. The metro connectivity is 95% complete. It's going to be ready in the next 1 year. There is complete social infrastructure out there. Employment generation is happening in a big way. Noida IT parks are getting occupied and absorbed quite well. The price affordability is there. And finally, hopefully, we'll get the airport really soon.
All right, 5 years in India is
away,
soon.
But it's been talked about for the last 15 years.
So it's a curious combination. It's an oversupply market, but the location rating is 7,
yes,
which says that livability is actually pretty good in Noida. Prices
Absolutely.
haven't moved. I can see that price chart really, it's nil price movement. So go ahead. What are the projects that he can buy? Let's give them projects that they can just go ahead, buy with confidence.
And the choice is really right for Narendra because he's looking at ready to move in properties, no execution risk whatsoever. The 3 choices are Max Royale by Sethi Group in Sector 76. We have the Hyde Park by Nimbus Projects in Sector 78. And lastly, we have Homes 121 by Ajnara India. All these 3 projects have been ready in 2014, 15 and 16. So infrastructure within the apartment complex has also started to develop, which is also very important when you're looking to move in.
All right. Some of these projects you say are available in the resale market, not from the developer, but are they easily available in the resale market? Where does Narendra go to actually get them?
Well, these projects were launched more than 6 to 7 years ago and have typically taken 4 to 5 years to get completed.
Is there enough inventory in resale market?
Yes, Manisha, today one can safely say that in any project, and especially in the NCR market, there were 40 to 50% people who were investors who used to buy into those projects. So there is enough inventory out there from the investors in the resale market, and you'll have plenty of choice because these projects have got ready over the last 3 years. So there is going to be enough inventory to choose from.
All right, so that's your final shortlist. We are saying on a location rating, Noida is a very good market to buy into. Max Royale, Homes 21, and of course, one more project on that list. Moving on to our next query, Mithu Parekh has texted us this question. Says he wants to buy a house in Hadapsar area in Pune, budget 50 to 60 lakhs. Really, it's becoming a 50 lakh special, Samir. Tell me about Hadapsar.
Well, 50 to 60 lakhs is kind of become the sweet spot as we speak across Pan-India except Mumbai. That's always going to have that caveat. If you look at the location rating, we are not very impressed by Hadapsar, and we give it a 6 primarily because, it hasn't really become aspirational. It is 6 to 7 kilometers from Kalyani Nagar and some very good colonies that started to get developed at the same time. But somewhere there have been 2 big townships, Magarpatta City and Amanora Park Town. But besides that, the connectivity, the roads have not been that good. In fact, the advantage that Hadapsar really had in Magarpatta through Magarpatta City is really been lost, and Hinjawadi is taken well over. This micro market is adequately supplied, although absorption is reasonably moving well. The supply has been there. Kumar Picasso 2 is the first choice by Kumar Properties in Hadapsar. The second one is Dream Rachna. This is the CNDV wing that we are talking about by Dreams Construction, and this is Shivnagar in Hadapsar. And lastly, we have Mango 1 by Sanklecha Constructions, and this is in Shivnagar, Hadapsar as well.
All right, so just to recap what's going on, proximity to Magarpatta IT Park is the location. USP, Hadapsar is the market we're talking about, but in terms of location rating, it's still getting just a 6, not really a 7, 8 or 9, which makes a market fairly fabulous. And if you look at the projects that you can buy, there's a quick list out there which will come up. But some of the projects, let me just read out those for you which have been recommended. There is, of course, yes, that's the list of projects. First day, we have to have some technical problems here. So Pune, Hadapsar, Kumar, Picasso, that's one of the properties that you have recommended. All right, let's also take a look at the second project coming up on your screen for the Hadapsar market, which has an adequately supplied market, but of course the location doesn't get a very high ranking. There's Mango 1, interesting names. I must say Mango is so much more Indian than some of the fabulous either Spanish or American looking names that we hear, isn't it?
But Anybody who travels to Maharashtra gets Alfonsos from Mumbai, especially to our city.
So why not mango one?
So why not mango one?
We will see an Alfonso one as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
All right, so that is the Hadapsar market. There are, of course, lots of other questions which are coming in. To all of you who are seeing the show, it's so easy to write into us and get all these parameters on which we are recommending projects to buy. Largest chunk of your life savings is going into these projects or buying properties. So make sure you buy the right one with the right advice. All right, our next question comes from Udit Ranjan. He wants to buy a house in Electronic City in Bangalore. This one has come to us by email. His budget is 60 lakh rupees, Samir.
So Electronic City is...
Well, we hear about it all the time.
Yeah,
IT hub, big market for Bangalore.
Absolutely. The only issue with Electronic City has been earlier that the connectivity was a big challenge in terms of traffic jams. The flyover got built and it improved the situation over there. But really, it continues to be a mid-market. And one point that I'd like to make over here, Manisha, is that the location ratings can change as time goes along and new infrastructure in terms of connectivity or, say, a metro coming into another micro market can improve the rating. So here specifically, for example, the Namma Metro, where construction is yet to start really, will improve the rating once it gets ready. At this point in time, it remains average at 6. The market is definitely oversupplied. Bangalore is witnessing an oversupply situation, primarily across IT hubs, because there was so much construction activity that happened over the last 3 years. And it's not actually supported by an investor-driven market.
Right.
So that's why
Bangalore's
the supply
never been an investor-driven
exactly.
market. It's always been an end-user market.
So thus the oversupply situation getting created.
So also a 6, just like Hadapsar.
Also a 6.
Okay.
And the 3 projects that we would recommend here are MJR Click Hydra by MJR Builders. Then we have Arat Firenza by Aratukulam Builders. And lastly, we have Elena 5 by Mahindra Homes.
Okay, so let me just bring you all of these projects. The first recommended project is MJR Click Hydra. Wow, that's a complicated name, by MJR Builders at about little less than 4,000 rupees per square feet. And Udit, the second recommendation from PropEquity data and from Samir is Arat Firenza. Okay, I'm not going to, even with a South Indian surname, I will avoid that complicated name of the filter.
Twister.
It's a tongue twister, but it's up on your screen. And the final one is Elena 5, Mahindra Homes. Yes, this is not Mahindra Life Spaces. This is Mahindra Homes. It's a local builder, but Bangalore's always had the reputation of actually local builders having to compete with some of the big ones like Brigade, Prestige, etc., and therefore doing a really fairly good job and actually having more modestly priced homes and flats, isn't it?
Absolutely, Manisha. That's been the hallmark of Bangalore and the South, really, because they've concentrated on selling usually post-completing homes, because the end users want the houses completed. They don't want to pay rent and EMIs at the same time, and that's what Bangalore used to be earlier. It has changed kind of over the last 3 years, and now you have a lot of oversupply, but that's why the market is cooling off right now.
Good, good. You're getting property at great prices today. Isn't it a good time to buy? Well, it's time definitely for a short break on the show, but we still have questions coming from Mumbai and Thane. Mumbai is, of course, Andheri West. Samir is here to answer them, so stay with us on the other side, and do not forget to drop in an email. Quick email is all that is needed. You can send us a question on Twitter, CNBC Facebook page, just any medium. Reach out to us and we'll make sure we tell you the best properties to buy in any big key market of India. Stay with us. Welcome back to a brand new show, First Time Home Buyer, FTHP, aimed at helping you, the home buyer, zero in on the best buys in your budget across India. Not just buy, we are here to help you with sell advice too. So just write into us and we'll tell you whether it's worth waiting for prices to move up, or should you simply sell the property that you own and redeploy your investments. So drop in an email at home@nw18.com. Now, how much easier can we make that for you? Sameer Jasuja, founder and MD of PropEquity, is with us to answer your questions. Our next caller is Shamli Nayak. Shamli, hi, where do you want to buy?
Hi, I'm looking for a home around Thane, Ghodbunder Road, and my budget is around 75 lakhs. So I want to buy around around Thane, in Ghodbunder Road.
Okay, in and around Thane. Okay, fair enough, Sameer. 60 to 75 lakhs. I think everybody from Mumbai will give us a slightly larger gap in the budget because, you know, Mumbai prices have been fairly sticky through this entire downturn, isn't it?
Sure, and we come down to, again, the main reason why, which is the supply rating. Primarily because demand and supply are driving the entire market today.
So what's happening in Ghodbunder Road?
So this market is adequately supplied, and I'd like to make a small distinction here, Manisha, on adequately supplied, a difference between oversupplied. Because people will talk and say that Thane market, especially Ghodbunder Road, is oversupplied, but the difference, main key difference, is that adequately supplied means that the absorption is also moving quite fast. And it's the market is absorbing a good amount of inventory that already exists. And that's the key differentiator between adequately supplied micro market versus oversupplied micro market.
Oversupply means the pace of sales is not keeping...
And also, there is disproportionate amount of supply that came out over the last 5 years.
All right. So Ghodbunder Road, adequately supplied. That's the key takeaway for the viewer there, and of course for Shamli as well. What about the location?
And coming to the location, we love the location, Ghodbunder Road. It has everything going for itself.
Love the location. I like that. Okay.
Connectivity being the most important factor in Mumbai. Both connectivity from the Western Expressway and the Eastern Expressway makes it a prime destination in terms of location. Social infrastructure, the malls, it's a wide road out there in Mumbai. You know the road condition of the roads. You need big, wide expressway type of roads over there. Enough employment generation happening on Ghodbunder Road now. Big IT companies now taking and making their hubs and consolidating space in Ghodbunder Road. And lastly, future infrastructure also. They're trying very hard to make metro connectivity and connectivity in other ways come about to Ghodbunder Road in a big way. So that's why we like the location and we're giving it a 7.5 rating. Reputed developers is what we've really chosen over here. Two projects, Lodha Platino by Lodha Developers Private Limited. And lastly, we have Godrej Emerald by Godrej Properties. The other point that I'd like to make here, Manisha, is we're not really stressing too much on appreciation in this show to begin with, because really most of the appreciation in the last 5 years has almost been negligible. And that makes it probably the best time to look at buying real estate, especially for the first-time home user. He is not going to get a better price than what he's getting today.
Inflation adjusted, they're probably lower than what they were 5 years ago, isn't it, Sameer?
I would completely agree with you.
End use, why even bother? This is your home to live in. As long as we give you the right projects to buy into and the best locations to buy into, just go ahead with your decision. And that's a quick summary of what you can buy, Shamli, in Ghodbunder Road in your budget of under 75 lakhs, which has already got a very good thumbs up or a thumbs up rating in terms of location. All right, we've got this text from Samuel Fernandez. He wants to buy a house in Andheri West in Mumbai. His budget is up to 1.7 crores? I don't think so. I think he'll have to stretch it. He'd written into us or texted us that it's 1.25 crores. But Andheri West, again, Sameer, extremely sticky market. I mean, at least the Thane markets have stayed stable. Markets like Andheri West have been inching up despite such a downturn, isn't it?
Absolutely, Manisha. And again, the main reason being that this market is completely a secondary market, first of all. It's been a well-established market for decades, I would say. It's a prominent suburb, excellent connectivity through the Western Expressway, Metro Link also already there, and 2 more Metro Links coming up in Andheri West. Of course, the local trains always...
Where do the film stars stay? So, I mean, you have not, don't all the film stars also stay in Andheri West?
Well, yes, it is one of the prime destinations for this micro market, and Lokhandwala being here attracts all the upcoming film stars.
Okay.
And that's why we've given it a decent location rating of 7. We really like this location from its secondary nature. Of course, all the social infrastructure that you can possibly think of has been existing there for a long time. And we've shortlisted 3 projects over here. Platinum Tower by Platinum Corp. This is in Andheri West, Lakshmi Prabha Rachna Group. And lastly, we have Kabra Paradise by Kabra Group. This is in DN Nagar in Andheri West. All these 3 projects are in close proximity to either a metro or the local trains.
Okay, so all 3 projects, good buys is what we are saying. Andheri West, again, just an adequately supplied market. It's not an oversupply market. So I think the big message today is stop worrying about that inventory overhang figure that you say, 6 lakhs unsold apartments, headlines. There are so many markets which do not have adequate supply or actually have just about adequate supply. So go out there, find a great location to buy into, isn't it?
I couldn't agree
Home
with you.
Home sizes are shrinking, but we're going to talk about it another time on why you might want to buy today, then wait out another year or year and a half on the fence. So, Sameer Jasuja, thank you very much for joining me. Of course, our graphics and us, the pace was slightly not matching today. We'll get that right. We'll be back soon with you again with all the data and some of the top buys in your budget and property. First-time home buyer or just end user or an investor, write into us at home@nw18.com and we'll make sure you get the best answers. Thank you so much for joining us on this debut show. Also give us your feedback. We'd love to hear how you'd want our show to be better or what else would you like us to cover. Thank you so much. Goodbye.